I'm Blaine Pertler with Pertler Electric, and I've got the video that shows how to take a stator out. And just in case you forget how to put everything back together, I'll show you very quickly how to put everything back together if you're putting a stator on a motor here. So the first thing obviously is our stator. We've got to put our new stator in. So there's a stator mounting plate here, and you've got your holes, 3 holes. They mount up. There's holes in your stator here, so those holes have to match up. So we go ahead and put your stator on. Route your wires properly. A lot of times there's your big thick wires, they have certain places where they have to go to get out of the case there, and this one is no exception. There we go. Boom, boom. Put that on. You've got your stator mounting bolts here, and start those however the best way is for you. Might want to start with the stator pulled back a little bit so you can see behind it, and then you can start a couple threads that way, and then tighten everything down. So like I say, this unit has 3 of these. As far as torque specs on this unit, you'll have to check with your individual manufacturer on that, but these are snug and have thread lock on them. I'm not putting thread lock on mine because I test so many stators on my sled here. I have stators in and out all the time on this thing. So I make sure they're nice and snug, obviously, because I don't want it to back out. And they just go into a cast aluminum stator plate on the back there that's threaded. So if you over tighten these, they will strip out in a hurry. So do not over tighten these. Like I say, not much more than snug with these. It's exciting watching the guy tighten bolts. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Got that in there. Wires are routed correctly coming out. At this time, you could go ahead and hook up electrical connections if you need to, if there's tight spots and so forth. With this model here, it's kind of a pain to get at this ground sometimes, so a lot of times I just go ahead and do my ground before I put that cover on. That's our 5mm, and if I can find out where I put my 5mm, there we go. Whoop. Once again, obviously you want everything nice and snug on here. There we go. Now this is when I go ahead and put my cover on. Pulled my wires out down here. There we go. A little like rubber grommet type deal that goes in there. This housing that goes on here, you've got 2 pins. You've got the pin at the top, pin at the bottom. Have to make sure those go in the holes there. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, this is when I like to put my bolts in. Some guys will put the flywheel on and then put the bolts in, but I like doing the bolts now because I can see, and if I drop one, if you put the flywheel on sometimes, if you drop one of these, it'll get behind the flywheel, and the magnets will hold it there, and you can't get it back out, and you have to pull the whole cover back off again to get in there, and it can be a bit of a pain, obviously. So boom, boom, I got 2 of them here. As far as torque specs on everything, put everything back together, check with your manual. If in doubt, like I say, most of this stuff here just goes into cast aluminum, so you just want to be very careful how hard you tighten this up here, because things will strip out very quickly, and then you are in big trouble. So we've got those 4. Let me tighten those real quick. 3. Try to do everything kitty corner, back and forth when you tighten things up. Make sure that the housing here is straight on here and flat and put on like it's supposed to be. It's not cocked on there, and it's, oh, I don't have it on right. Okay, this is where if you had a key, make sure your key's in here on the end of your on the end of the crank, and on the flywheel in the center here there's a little notched out area, and that's where that the flywheel key here has to go. It has to fit into that slot. So obviously try to line up that slot with your key. You don't want to force anything because you can knock that key out and all of a sudden things are loose in here and you'll wreck things in a hurry. So you kind of got to have a little bit of a feel for it. There it goes, pops on. Don't want to force anything. Let me go ahead and put that bolt on. Go ahead and put our cup on. And we're almost home free, folks. Just have to tighten these up, hook our electrical connections up, put our recoil on, put our exhaust on. Sounds like a lot, but believe me, it's not much. 12 millimeter, putting those back on, which I haven't screwed up too bad yet, so must not be hard if I can do it. So we want to tighten those up. How tight? Check your manual specs, but we don't want anything coming apart on this, so make them snug. Use your long screwdriver or a little bar, whatever you have. Get in there, help you hold it. If in doubt, if you're, well, I'm not sure if I tighten that up, double check. Don't want any of this coming apart on you, obviously. That's a good little spot there. 9/16 with an extension. We'll get that flywheel bolt. For the torque specs, Blaine, snug. A little bit more than snug on that. Alright, boom, boom, boom. So we got this, we got this. We've got, you can do your electrical connections whenever. We just got one there, one here. Boom, 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 got that. Make sure everything's out of the way. It's not close to your rotor here for your brakes. Put our recoil on. Told you we were close. Alright, what are the torques on these? Torque them, snug them up. Not too tight. And we are almost there. Whoop, where's that one at? There she is. Alright. Everything's back together. All our electrical connections are plugged in. 1, 2, and then 3 is our ground down here. Make sure that's in there. Ground down. Clean that ground off. Make sure connections, everything are good with it. Go ahead and throw the can on it real quick here. Remember our exhaust donuts. You don't want to forget those. And I'll set that in there. Grab my one spring, because obviously I'm doing all this quickly. Pretty good. I'll stick one more spring on there just to make sure here. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, my rewound stator's in there. Let's see if she runs. Everything's cold on it. Choke it, so forth and so on. Make sure your little guide pull here is where it should be for your recoil rope. Just making sure everything looks good. And that's how you swap out a stator and hopefully replace it with one of my rewinds.